Hello, and welcome back to the Pretty Little Podcast. We're your hosts.
My name is Phoebe.
And my name is Caroline, and today we'll be yapping about just about everything, but I do want to start by telling you what I just walked in on at our parents' house.
Hate the way that started.
Okay, me too, now that I have said it and recorded it and published it for
And
the
now
world to
we've
hear.
said
I
it.
also don't like it. And now we've said it. By the way, you finally sent the GIF of Camille actually saying that, and we've never used it before.
I know why.
And
I
now
googled
we've
it
used
for that
it.
exact
Oh.
moment, and so now I have it.
And that's a gripe I have with the GIF thing, like on. Is it GIF?
Yeah, that's how I
Okay,
say
with
it.
the GIF
And that's how the
thing
creator
on-
said it. Everybody, don't hate on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Well, I feel like I got hated on a lot for saying GIF, and now it's like I've learned how to say GIF, so there's no going back.
Right.
So don't tell me it's wrong now. But I hate that like they don't have the good GIFs on the iMessage.
I agree, and they're like stupid.
bank.
They like love to play dumb on that thing.
Well, they like don't allow swears either. It's like sometimes, no, the exact GIF I'm looking for is shut the fuck up. And they're like, oh, we don't have anything. I'm like, yeah, you do.
Google fixed, or Apple, I don't know whose end was fucking up, but it used to be for the longest time if you Googled a GIF, it would only save as a picture. And when you sent it to it, it would just send as a picture, but they fixed it. And so now you
Yeah,
can
they
save
did.
it, and it will probably look like a picture in your camera roll, but when you send it, it'll send like a GIF.
And so that's just also a good warning, because let's say the GIF is somebody smiling and then they turn around and flick someone off or moon them or something insane like that, or hold up a sign that says, I wish I never met you. Okay. But it starts out real nice. So you save it, and you then one day you forget about it completely, and you're going to text, I don't know, your sister, like maybe your sister Phoebe, if your name's Caroline, and you're going to text her and you're like, oh, I just missed her. I'm going to send her this nice picture of a lady smiling. And then you send it in, you just started World War freaking 3, because that woman turned around with a sign that said, I wish I never met you, and flicked her off and mooned her all at once. That's when I was actually the triple whammy, because she did all three things, not just one thing. And so that's just a warning. I'm not saying that's ever happened to anyone.
Yeah, and if it did, it might really hurt their feelings.
I'm not saying that GIF exists.
If their name is Phoebe and she has a sister named Caroline.
if that was a situation, her feelings might be hurt by your sister Caroline, who sent the GIF, but she didn't know it was a GIF, unsuspectingly. This didn't actually happen. This is an exercise of an improv. Good job.
I hate
This
when
is
you
a
act
work.
like sometimes I just like to play along.
Okay, but sometimes
It's
you
not
don't.
that I'm incapable. It's not that I'm incapable.
No,
It's
I
just
know,
that
but
I'd pick
Phoebe,
and
sometimes
choose.
you don't.
That's what I'm saying.
So when you do, it's a
I
treat.
pick and choose.
I'm not allowed to celebrate.
I guess, I don't know. what
Phoebe's
did you
like,
walk in on
Phoebe?
at our parents' house?
Oh, that. No, it's nothing bad. I come upstairs, delicious smell of chicken fajitas that mom made, delish, and I hear.
Did she make them how she used to make them, or did dad make them on the Blackstone?
I actually don't know, because I was downstairs teaching, so I didn't see how the sausage got made, okay? All I know is I went up there where there was amazing food. I took some and I left. Anyway, but what I heard, Phoebe, what I heard and what I saw. I go up there and I hear the unmistakable sound of our father explaining something. You know
Oh,
the
perfect.
sound. You know the sound. Because he's going
And
like,
suddenly you're like, wait,
yeah,
do I
yes.
want to go up there?
Yeah, he's like, yes. Da, 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 da. Right? Okay. Anyway, he's talking and mom's like, oh, we're just listening to dad's podcast. And I was like, she goes, it's a Pretty Little Podcast competitor. And I was like, okay. And I walk over. It actually is a podcast. Dad was a guest on someone's podcast.
And he didn't tell anyone. That is so
Classic.
funny.
It's
And
like
also-
he didn't tell anyone, just so that next time we share something about the podcast, he's like, and I just want everyone to know, like, I was really humble. Like, I didn't even tell anyone. No one even listened to my podcast. For
I'm
sure.
also like, how did he record it?
He's sitting at the same place you like to sit to do your work, in the den area, like at the island.
Oh, it's a video.
It's a video. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dad trying to one up us.
Three people, a young looking guy and a medium looking girl. And that is just, it means exactly what I said.
Was it the business podcast?
It was the Honey Book Business podcast that we went on. No, he was correcting things that we said in that podcast. No, it was some other like business thing. But anyway, he was being very humble about it. So I didn't really get many deets. He like wasn't interested in talking about it, but
Which
he
means
really
he
wanted
was
to talk
proud of it.
shop, which means that he wanted me to shut the fuck up and listen. Is what that probably means. But I didn't. I said, I have to go record my podcast. I have to go record the real podcast. Okay. Gotta go. Got a jet. But yeah, so you should
Wow.
probably congratulate Dad. Guess we're not the only yappers in the family.
As far as he knows, I don't know anything about it.
Right. And when Mom listens to this and says, oh, did you get a text from Fee saying good job on your podcast? He's going to be like, no. And she's like, oh, wait. Right. Sorry. Caroline told her. And she was like, oh, perfect. I don't have to know this exists. I'm not making any sense today, am I?
No, you're making plenty of sense. I have a theory, a working theory about
About?
siblings. And I was talking to Mimi and she was explaining one of her coworkers, shout out to Mimi's place of work. For real though, shout out to Mimi's place of work. I can't say what it is, but
Yeah, it makes does Mimi
it
like
makes
get
my
as many
life
perks
so
as
much
you get?
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets more. We were talking about one of her coworkers and how like she is old. She's a couple years older than us, but she is like more privy to a lot of the Gen Z trends than like Mimi even is, and Mimi's a year younger than me. So like we were talking about that, and I asked if she was an oldest child, and Mimi said yes, and I said I think that's what it is. I think a lot of the time the oldest child can have younger trend following habits because they're blazing the trail, and then like the younger siblings typically are learning what's cool from the older sibling. So like even if like they're number one, they're normally like when they're in elementary school and middle school and their older siblings older, they're ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And then as they get older, they can still stay on trend with the people their age, but they are maybe have like an older cultural Rolodex of information. Do you know what I mean?
Phoebe, I know exactly what you mean. You are right on the freaking money. Hey, I want you to write a book about this theory, okay? Because you are so right on. Everyone's like, Caroline, how do you stay so hip? And I'm like, well, I am a baby. I'm 29. I am literally a child bride. I'm a little infant toddler. I just learned how to read. Like, that's how I stay hip. But if you want to look at me like I'm in my late 20s and like that means something else, it is probably that I was like watching the Disney Channel my whole life. So like if you want to learn what the Gen Zs are saying, you guys, all you need to do is turn on Disney Channel for 1 second, because they pack in every little piece of lingo, every little reference into the first 30 seconds. Like that.
And do you feel that in your friend? Are you one of the, or most of you and your friends' oldest siblings? Like what's the like?
So Kelly is the oldest. Amber's the youngest.
So does
3
Amber?
sisters.
So there's probably a bit of a cultural difference between y'all.
Between me and Amber, there is. But I mean, she's older than
And
me. Not by very much at all. Not by very much at all. Okay, by like a couple seconds. A couple seconds is all it is. But
like, do you find that your friends like did they? I don't really know how to articulate what I'm
Amber,
saying.
yeah, you're gonna offend someone, but I won't. So, Amber, if you're listening, I'm just gonna talk right to you. Well, Amber will text me and be like, "Okay, Caroline." Like sometimes I realize that Amber, I think, like thinks that she and I are both like, "What the heck is the Gen Z people doing?" Which is how I feel sometimes. But what the heck is the Gen Z people doing? Is how we feel. And Amber texted me once, and she was like, "Okay, let's see if you know these phrases." And she's like, "Cap."
And you knew it.
And she's like, "Do you like capping?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's telling me what her nieces have like explained to her, like what they mean.
Kids.
That's what I said to
thing.
her. I was like, first of all, I am like, I know people say they're chronically online. Like my phone is molding to my hand. Like I am online in a way many are not. And also I have 2 younger sisters, and also, what was the other thing? Oh, I teach kids. Yeah. So like They do keep me young. They told me like, okay, Caroline, you have to get an Owala water bottle. So I did. And I do like it because you guys, okay, in case you're wondering, here you go. We've got the Stanley, which I'm never going to give up on the Stanley because I'm a work from home girly and I don't need to worry about it spilling when I move
This
from
is
room
the
to room.
breakdown. Stanley is millennial.
Okay.
Hydro Flask is old Gen Z.
Okay.
Owala is young Gen Z.
See, what's interesting though is like, well,
or what Gen
I've had
Alpha
all.
even.
but I had a Hydro Flask like in high school, you know?
But I think that it was so consistent that it's kind of classic enough. And I think that that's where Gen Z, older Gen Z has kind of found home base. Whereas millennials were really quick to jump onto the Stanley and really like claim it.
I feel like millennials were working from home. It was during COVID. The Stanley like came out. We were working from home. The Gen Z was in college. And they were like, well, I'm going back. So I'm not going to take it.
We can just say it, guys. The Stanley also looks the most millennial.
And what does that mean?
Well,
I
it just means
actually
exactly what
cannot
it means.
stand Phoebe's like attitude about millennial and Gen Z. It is really annoying, but explain it. No, I don't know what that means.
You're not even a millennial. I don't get why you get so offended.
I am a millennial.
Barely. You're a cusper. You are.
Not Phoebe doing the hang 10 hand motion. She goes, you're a cusper. And she also simultaneously asked me to go surfing. I'm busy. And so are you. Guys, and how do I know Phoebe's busy? Well, I'll tell you. Well, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Well, I was it's just called having fun and being able to poke fun at people and things.
You're not fun about it. You're like kind of mean about it, and it's annoying.
I have a Stanley. I use a Stanley. But it does look the most millennial.
But I'm asking what the heck it means. What does it mean? What does that mean?
I don't know how to articulate it.
Okay, and that means it's bullying.
No,
can't, Phoebe.
No.
If you can't it's a good thing we're recording.
Stop it.
Because we're giving the people what they
vibe.
freaking want, even though I'm going to be mortified tomorrow when I listen to it. What is a vibe? The millennial?
Vibe. Yeah, and the Stanley, and they have the same vibe.
I think what it is, you guys, and hey, Amber, I'm going to bring you back in the convo because you guys know the term chuggy. Okay.
Imagine if Amber just like poked her. Imagine if Amber was here this entire
she's in my
time.
house. She's always here when we record. I can't really perform without an audience, and she's always down. No, Amber's probably asleep. Now that Big Brother's over, it's 7:50 p.m. Amber is lights out.
She can finally rest.
Let me tell you, she can finally rest. It's been a long summer.
Her TV is like the fan on her TV that like probably doesn't even exist because it's a new TV. It probably is like she's like, wait, I didn't know how to fan, but the TV is so exhausted from running
from the live
feeds 24/7. And by the way, Paramount Plus is famously the worst streaming platform to use on your TV actually in the world.
That's true. I didn't even realize you could watch live feeds on my TV on Paramount Plus for like so long because it's so not user friendly. Like the layout is so confusing.
It's the worst. It is the worst user experience.
It sucks. Again, Peacock reigns supreme.
It's the best.
It's the best. It's clean.
And Netflix is like a good like
Netflix is
never
Netflix
a bad
is
experience.
classic.
Hulu, get the fuck out of here. I don't know how you organize yourself.
Hulu, like, I hate to love you. You know what I mean? Like, because Hulu,
I mean,
it's
I
like,
need you.
Why am I giving you, like, my firstborn kid every month to pay for you? But why are you also
to
the
watch
most
5 minutes of ads?
essential streaming platform I have? And they keep raising the price, and I keep just being like, okay. Like, what am I going to say?
What?
You know what I mean?
I mean, you
like,
can't say no at this point. You need it.
I can't say no. And the worst part is, I just now won't pay to not have ads like on principle because the thing is I already pay whatever. I have Hulu Live, so it's very expensive. And I pay that and it's like, I know it might only be like $5 more to pay for no ads, but I'm not fucking doing that. Are you kidding me?
It's so stupid.
Like we're going to sit through the ads because if I have to give you this much, I'm just, And I don't even know if it is cheaper than cable, but whatever.
At this point, it's too difficult to figure out.
Point,
I remember when Mom and Dad made the switch.
And Hulu, so
when Mom and Dad made the switch from cable to Hulu at the beach, I like did this whole report on whether it was more cost effective for Mom.
Boring.
It was boring, but I did it because my mom asked me to. And
Okay, obedient.
like like all that information is now completely irrelevant. Like I think if I were to do it again, it wouldn't matter because
Phoebe's
they
like, and I
realized
wouldn't do it again because all that information now is completely obsolete.
Hulu realized that we were all treating Hulu like cable.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, okay, well, we're just going to charge you what cable would charge you, but sneakily.
They're like, we can charge you like $5 less than cable and you'll all still do it. And they were dead on.
And we'll show you more ads than you've ever seen in your whole life.
And they'll be
and
so
also,
loud. They'll be
here's
so
my
loud.
last gripe. My last gripe with Hulu
Doubt
is
it.
this.
Okay, with
I
Hulu.
think if I'm using my desktop, if I'm on my computer, it should not matter where I am. I should be able to watch the Steelers game. I should be able to pick what local television I want to watch. I think it's so stupid that I can't pick what football I'm watching on a Sunday.
Is stupid,
because it's
but
not playing locally. Don't worry, Anthony's got my cover.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say we turned on Peacock last night and it had like live football on there too, which we didn't realize.
When it's NBC, it depends on when whatever channel it is. But it's not like Peacock is an exception, and so is Prime because they do Thursday night football. But Paramount Plus, this is trickery. In their ads, they'll say in the Paramount Plus live stream of this game at this time, and they make it seem like it's just Paramount Plus, but you have to pay like $10 more to get NFL. You can only watch what game is on your local TV on Paramount Plus too. It's terrible. I can't stand it. Anyway,
I feel like what I was saying way back when is you guys know the word chuggy? Okay. Well, Amber, and I think maybe I've said this, she and her friends used to say cozy, which like meant the same thing. So like that's an example where like I don't remember why I was saying cozy, but
the Stanley's not quite chuggy though.
No, I don't think so
really
either.
but
but that's what I was going to say is a lot of people think that the millennial vibe that Phoebe is referencing here is just chuggy or cozy. Like they think that's the vibe.
It is a sliver of the vibe. Sometimes. Like Chevron.
What's the
chuggy.
rest? That's not millennial.
Oh, yes it is.
Not currently.
That's what I'm saying.
Not currently.
That's what I'm saying.
We need to talk about
but that's the chuggy is outdated.
So is Chevron.
That's what I'm saying.
But I
that's why Chevron is chuggy.
I feel okay. Well, I guess I don't know.
The millennial hipster weddings in like 2013. BuzzFeed. That type of millennial culture is chuggy.
Okay, but that's not what
modern
you think
millennials how they're
are.
That's what I'm saying. The way millennials are living now, they've grown out of the things that now we're referring to as chuggy that were cool when millennials were younger. But now that they're older, they still have a culture. It didn't just go away.
Well,
but
I
it's
know
just
that.
matured.
I know that. I just think there happens to be, and you know this as well as I do, so just don't pretend you don't, that there is a connotation and attitude towards millennials from the general public, especially Gen Z, that they are as a people chuggy, embarrassing, cozy, that's the vibe. So I know that's not what you're saying in this moment, but I think you can agree that is the general like feeling towards millennials. So when you say something like the vibe of millennials and no, I can't explain that to you, then yeah, I'm going to think you mean what everyone else fucking means. Okay?
But I also want, Caroline, I want you to know that you are not you and your people
I'm like
your
my own
age.
thing.
But
me.
Yes, but also you and people your age, like you and your friends, you guys aren't the millennials that the millennials that people make fun of are people in their late 30s and 40s, early 40s. Those are millennials. Like the people at the Vampire Weekend concert I went to on Friday by myself. Clock it by myself.
Okay, so we did talk about this on Friday in the Patreon app. So if you didn't hear it, Phoebe was like a little on the fence. Was she gonna go to this Vampire Weekend concert by herself? And I told her I thought that she should, and that if I saw her at a concert by herself, I would think, look at that confident girl. This seems like something she does all the time. She must be cool. And then that definitely did the trick, because guess what Phoebe did that night? How many friends did you make? Tell me for real. Oh my God, more than 10?
No.
More than 15?
Try
You're
6,
lying.
1,000.
20, Phoebe.
6,000 of my closest friends.
Okay, so you've officially beat me.
That's like how Taylor Swift captions her like Eras Tour posts.
Yeah,
Me,
no, actually,
me and 80,000 of my closest friends.
the way that I thought you were about to pull a Matt Rogers and go me and 6,000 of my closest friends about Taylor Swift at the Eras Tour. Anyway, how was the Vampire Weekend concert?
Oh, it was wonderful at the time of my life. They're tremendous.
You were
Y'all
like
can ever
low-key
go see
roasting them though in our chat. Our texting.
Them? The band?
Yeah, you were like, for the encore, you were like, they're just like up there doing like whatever they want.
No. I didn't mean it like that. But you had looked at the set list and 9 to 5 was on the set list. But I was trying to explain to you that it wasn't that part. Their encore, they honestly structured the concert very smartly because in the early part of the, like before the first encore, they had already played A-Punk, Campus, all their most popular songs they'd already, except Walcott. And so they got even before the first song, even before the first last song, the people that were only there for that stuff had left. And then the encore, which I guess is a tradition because a bunch of people had signs with songs on them.
Oh.
And this is how I was like floored. I knew they were good musicians, but I didn't know they were like, this is like a different type of good musician. Like this is like the kind of band that would play on Broadway and be able to just like figure
Go
out
on the fly,
a song and like hard songs. Like they were like holding up signs and they would just be like, I think they can figure that one out. And then they'd play like 30 seconds of it. So they did like, that's what I meant. They were like up there like picking whatever songs they wanted. Yeah, it was very cool. So I would definitely go see them if y'all have the chance.
How long was the concert?
It was probably like, they did go on pretty early. They went on in like 8:20 and I probably left close to 11.
Well, guys, tonight, you guys can't see her, but Phoebe's really dressed up. She's wearing is that a stand-up? Is that a prom dress? Or it's short. Oh, it's actually kind of like Aria's style. So it's like from the top, it looks like a prom dress, but then it's like a tutu. Can you lift up your legs? Can I see your, okay, you're barefoot. Are you going to put on shoes for the concert? No. Oh, you are wearing shoes. Sorry, they're nude heels. Okay, sorry, I couldn't see them. And her hair is like in ringlets, but also an updo. And she has on a lot of makeup. It looks great. You're just wearing more than usual. That's what I mean by a lot. You guys, she's going to see her freaking heartthrob. She's going to go meet her future husband, Shawn Mendes. Phoebe, you talk too much shit on Shawn Mendes to be this dressed up going to his concert right now.
Guys, I literally, do you want to hear? So one of the most devastating moments of my life, I was in high school and I had gotten Shawn Mendes tickets for Christmas. I was thrilled. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And this was like Illuminate Shawn Mendes. So he wasn't weird yet. And the music was still like he was making hits. You know?
I do think he like kind of started out weird, but in a good way.
He was like, no, but he had something endearing about him. Now he's just like, okay, all right, we get it.
Yeah.
Please get away from a microphone.
I see that.
I watched an interview of him today and I was like, I can't believe I'm going to see him tonight. And he goes, the question is, what's like your go-to dance scene situation or something like that? And he goes, my go-to dancing if I dance is like after 4 or 5 tequila shots in a salsa bar.
In a salsa bar?
He said that.
He's like, did you guys know I used to date Camila Cabello? Like, what are you doing?
Did you know my last name is Mendes?
Dude.
That's also his vibe. But
that is funny.
I am going to see. But my parents, that was the I was a junior in high school, so some parents might say I could have been old enough to stay in Pittsburgh and go to this concert.
Not ours.
But that was the weekend of the infamous solar eclipse, which did the path of totality, went directly over the Isle of Palms.
Phoebe, that was like not that long ago.
I was in high school. I was a junior in high school.
Not that long ago.
What? Yeah, it hasn't been that long since Shawn Mendes was normal.
No, I know. It's just like in my mind, this was like 10-year-old Phoebe with a fedora. And then you said solar eclipse.
He wasn't even like a thought on anybody's mind.
Well, that's also why I'm
age.
like, not that long ago. Why'd you have to go? Why couldn't you have stayed home and seen the concert?
That's what I'm saying. And they made me sell my tickets.
Dude, well, you know they made me sell my Mac Miller tickets.
I know, but
That's
no offense,
actually don't.
I wasn't in trouble.
Okay, but I thought you were about to say no offense, mine's worse, and I was like, actually, go fuck yourself.
No, it's not worse. It's not worse.
Couldn't be. Well, I'm excited for you to go tonight. Do you think your love is going to be reignited?
Probably not, because he's probably going to talk.
But he is so talented and he's hot.
And he is when he's not being a little freak, then I'm sure I'll be in love. But I am excited. It's at the Ryman. He's playing through his new album front to back. He's like doing a couple of these shows, so it'll be cool.
I will say, like, Shawn Mendes just really needs someone who can match his freak, and I feel like he did find it with Camila, but they called it quits again. So
yeah, but
good luck finding someone else who can handle
they probably
you.
have a
You're
pact.
the only motherfucker in the city who can handle me. Oh, they for sure do. For sure have a pact.
Yeah.
I want to talk about SNL. Did you watch?
Yes. I've watched enough of it at this point.
I thought, I mean, literally, like, so
I
good.
thought it was everything I've seen has been amazing.
A good episode. Ariana killed it. Knew she would. She always does. But I was thinking, like, well, so she starts out her monologue and she goes, okay, and you guys, I am just hosting this year. I'm not. And I thought she was gonna be like, I'm not dating. I thought she was gonna say something about that. But they didn't.
I wish they made a joke about it.
That would have been the perfect time, and then she wouldn't have had to say anything else. Because like they don't want to be disrespectful, you know, and like it's his play, you know, like he claims it more than her. But she is the one thing that, you know, Pete Davidson has to low key be like punching the air, because every time she's on that show, she's so good.
Oh, you were talking about Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
I was hoping that she'd address the elephant in the room, which is actually the sponge in the room.
Was he there?
No, I was just thinking maybe they'd make her make a joke about it.
The elephant in the room anymore. You know, now it's just like, now she thinks we're all just good with it. Now, like,
right.
For us, it's still the elephant in the room. For her, that's her boyfriend. So, like, you know what I'm
something
saying?
so embarrassing happened to me. We were in the car. It was me and Taylor, and I told the story of Kat Cohen and the elephant in the room at the Blue Room in Nashville and everything. I told that story because Mimi just saw a show there for the first time. And Taylor goes, did you mean to tell that story like beat for beat the exact same way you told it on the podcast?
Oh my God, this is so embarrassing for you. I love it.
And I literally was like, I didn't even know I told that story on the podcast.
Well, the worst, Phoebe, is that I know exactly what that feeling is, because sometimes I'll hear myself doing it in real time. So like I will say it and I'll be like, oh, I've actually kind of figured out how to tell this story already. Like I know where the beats are. It feels like I've workshopped it. You know what I mean? And so now when I tell it in a public setting, like I'm rehearsed, I'm off book, I'm good to go. The beats are there and they're landing, the jokes are landing, but
there's always one person in the room.
There's always one person in the room of 100. And in a room of 100 people, there's one person. So,
do you love when you find a new place in your place of living and you're like, did not realize that place could also collect dust like everywhere else?
Yeah, and like,
I think there should be rules about dust.
Rules?
Yeah.
Who enforces the dust rules?
Well, I mean, I wish dust could keep itself accountable.
Oh, well, the bunnies enforce the dust rules.
It's like, I can't possibly be expected to dust everywhere.
Every day. Well, and it's everywhere, every day, multiple times a day. It feels
it's like, okay, where's this coming from?
Well, also, I remember growing up, Mom used to be like,
it's just me in here.
Oh my God, your room is so dusty. And it's like, I just dusted, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not making the dust. I don't know where the dust is coming from. It's not my fault. The dust is showing up in my room fast and accumulating. Like, yes, we could be dusting every day, but the dust is still going to come. And it used to feel like it was like, why is your room so dusty? And it's like, I don't. What?
And now I'm like, wait, it's dusty all the time everywhere.
It's dusty all the time. And I'm asking, and I find myself asking myself, why is my room so dusty? And I'm like, Caroline, this is a vicious cycle. Okay? It's not your fault.
Oh my goodness
Anyway.
gracious. Well, we'll get back to SNL in a second, but I do want to talk about the iconic 400. There's two things in particular. one is T-Pain's mentioned on the list, which feels so important. And they say that's Amy Adams' Oscar.
Oh my God. Well, can you explain what the 400 is to the people that don't listen?
So for the 400th episode of Lost College, which happened approximately 800 years ago, Bowen and Matt said that they were going to do a list of the iconic 400 people.
Which is an insane feat. Like an insane.
And they've done it.
How long do you think it actually took them?
I don't know. I was thinking about it because I've been like ruminating on like who would make my list. And I think they probably both just did their top 200. But ranking it, it's like.
They probably had a lot of the same though.
And I also think that when they were getting like, I think they probably just put everybody in an order. And I think as they got closer to the top, it was more ordered. But like they literally. The order of they go, okay, number 38, Jesus Christ. And then they talk about Jesus Christ. And then they say, and number 37, orca whales. It's like there's really no rhyme or reason to some of like the way things
probably
are
no
ordered.
Particular order, yeah.
And they are just so funny. I love when they pick an inanimate object as one of the iconic 400 people.
Well,
because
course.
They go, number 27, I don't know if that's the right number. Number 27, the Empire State Building.
Well, that's like, a she. Well, she's a she.
They are so funny.
They are.
And yeah, if you guys haven't listened, you should. Taylor Swift was, of course, number 13.
That's actually so funny that I haven't listened to all of it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I love when they just like talk like this. And it's clear how like in sync they are because they get to Fergie and Bowen goes, and you know what should have been a number one, and them in unison, unplanned, they go London Bridge. and Bowen goes, you are my sister.
Oh, I love them so much. I mean,
so funny.
What's a list that we could do? I do think that's so funny though about Amy Adams. That's her Oscar. And now I'm imagining the screenplay for T-Pain because it's not about Taylor. It's called
No, it's about
Tree.
Honestly, in the perfect T-Pain biopic, Taylor's not actually in it at all.
It's called Tree, A Life of Pain. It's a dark story.
Oh my God, are we writing it?
Okay, we're writing it. Oh, okay.
Sadie Sink plays a young T-Pain. Amy Adams plays
Megan Fahey can play like somewhere in the middle if she wants.
Yes, if she wants. I mean, and she can have
if she wants, and if there's one where it's like, Amy, you're a hair too old, and Sadie, you're a hair too young. That would be where we'd bring Megan in.
The climax of the film is when Tree gets an email. It's that perfect shot. She's like just ordered Chinese takeout in the boxes, of course. The camera is behind her MacBook, and it's the MacBook of the times. And she's eating and she sees that she gets an email, but she's off the clock. But Tree's never off the clock.
No, but she's like, I'm grinding. I'm trying to be the best in the biz, like burning the midnight oil.
She clicks on the email. It says urgent phone call.
Oh my God.
It opens to Kim Kardashian's Instagram story. And Tree knows that she has to get to work in that moment.
How about this? It goes urgent and it's actually from Kim. Okay, I know that part didn't happen. It's from Kim.
Oh my God, virus
it's from Kim. She sends her. She goes, thought I'd give you the first listen, and sends her the whatever she's gonna post, and then goes like, I'm going to put this live. And so Tree's scrambling, listening to it. And she's like, oh my God. And then it's just like boom.
In this moment, she actually doesn't. She has that weird like human thing where it's like, wait, am I furious with Taylor for a second? Because when you're listening to the video, it's like, wait,
well, it's a manipulated video.
Taylor, you didn't give us the full truth. And
it's like when a lawyer's
maybe,
like,
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, maybe. So we have this happen. And then at the end of the film, it's when Taylor's finally vindicated and we get the whole video. But there's been this tinge of Tree in their entire relationship up until when we get the full video.
Where it's like,
where Tree is never fully trusted that Taylor told the truth.
And like the conversations Tree might have with her inner circle, because again, Taylor's not in it.
Yes. When we release our or biopic, it will say inspired by true events, not based on true events, because
Of
we want
course,
to take our own creative liberties.
obviously.
And Taylor would understand.
I'm gonna open my door tomorrow morning, cease and desist from Tree Pain. Like 1000%. This movie's released in theaters in 3 years.
Federal
like, okay.
police.
Yeah, the SWAT team. I'm like, okay, I live in Mount Lebanon. This is going to cause a stir, you guys. Oh, come on. Anyway, okay, back to SNL though. Also, what I thought was so funny is that they literally did use some of the bridesmaid dresses from my wedding. And yes, they did call and ask if they could borrow. And I said no, that they're archival. So they bought their own.
Well, I mean, and Ariana specifically reached out to me and asked if she could use mine. And I said,
And you
hey,
said
girl,
there's no way it'll
sorry,
fit.
you're not going to fit.
There's no, you will be sorry.
Oh my God.
It
You'll
will
be
be
swimming
tight
in
on
it.
you. It'll be tight on you. Ari. Right?
Yeah.
Hello. Sorry, did you forget
exactly.
our long running joke and lore for a second? Oh my God.
No, I was delivering it wrong.
Thank you for admitting that. Anyway.
Our hearts were in the right place. My
that
favorite
was kind of
sketch
funny.
was-
Gonna me.
That was my favorite one.
Domingo. And it's so funny having Ariana like have to sing bad. Okay,
I
but I'm
love when
sorry.
she does that.
The game night one with her and Bowen. Oh my God, the acting.
Perhaps a glimpse into the future at Caroline and her gay son.
Oh,
her gay
thank you
son's
for saying
boyfriend.
that. Thank you for saying that. Oh my God. Yeah, all around.
Did you
Thank
like
for
the
saying that.
video I sent you about drama today?
Oh my God. Yes, that was so funny.
Can you
it's
understand
like
me
this
with my
old video.
Boston accent?
It's this old video from like the Ellen show.
Yes.
And some little kid on it. And he goes, and do you have a translator? And can you even understand me with my Boston accent? And he does not have a Boston accent. And Ellen is like,
He
you know, I
just
don't
has
have
a speech
translator, but
impediment.
I do think I can understand you. And he's like, oh, you can understand a Boston accent.
And she goes, aren't you from Florida? And he goes, yeah. My dad's from Boston. And then
So-
when he says Boston, he like really tries to
It's
have
actually
one.
so us as kids. We're like, yeah, sometimes like when we drink, it comes out. We drink milk, it comes out our Boston accent because our dad's from Boston. Like famously, the aunt who officiated my wedding has a Boston accent. So yeah, sometimes you could say my Boston accent comes out in between my Southern accent. Anyway,
Imagine if accents were like genetic
So-
and not just like based on
nature,
location.
nurture. Imagine if they were nature, not nurture. Hey, T-Core, what's your accent? We'll get to that.
Yeah.
I liked how the deep fake had no accent because they're like, hey, let's just be fucking for real for 1 second, T-Core. Anyway, I thought the skit, though, with her being the mom, and they have this game night. For those of you who haven't seen it, this was a really strong all-around episode of SNL. But she, like... I'm sorry, she's just so funny. And the chemistry between her and Bowen is so great. And so Bowen like starts to win and she and what's some of her she like the dad like points to Bowen and he's like trying to get her to guess like man or something. And she's like, dumb, gay, fat, loser, a dumb little gay boy. And he's like, oh my God. And her son's like, I'm also gay. And she goes, oh, honey, it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It's just how bad he is. Or like whatever. She's like,
She goes, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like dumb and stupid.
Yeah, I mean like dumb and stupid.
I meant it like a slur. We saw a tweet that was like, my HR lady told me that she recently realized that something that she had been saying pretty frequently was a slur, and she won't even give us a hint as to what it is.
And then people in the replies like, I bet it's this.
But
It
you
is
also
so,
sent
she
me a
won't even
funny
give us
tweet today.
hint. You know, the personality hires are like, please, can we have a little hint?
You sent me a tweet today about slurs also that was like, I can't
stop
believe
making me out to be obsessed with slurs.
I can't believe we already have a slur for robots. Because someone called a robot a clanker.
And I'm like, that is it. Well, that is it. But
Sorry, that's it.
Sorry, that's it. Clanker.
That's what we're calling them.
Clanker, because
because
derogatory. It does sound derogatory. Okay, well, my favorite part of SNL though was Oasis on Weekend Update.
so funny.
You didn't
So
see it,
funny.
did you?
Yes, I did. I watched it.
Okay, you better have.
Brava.
Because Anthony and I we keep going, toxic legend. They kept being like, who's the worst boyfriend in Sex and the City? 1, 2, 3. Big toxic legend. They kept saying legend. But the best part is when So the brothers, like, the whole thing is they're in a fight and they're sitting next to each other and they keep being like, they keep like poking each other, like accidentally brushing each other and like jumping out of their seats and like making
And
faces. at each other,
Colin
"Don't
keeps
touch
going.
me."
Colin keeps going. Aren't you guys 50 years old? Why are you fighting like this?
It's so, and like Sarah squirms, like, oh, like she's kind of laughing
She's
a little
so
bit.
funny.
She's so
They
funny.
go, we can agree on plenty of stuff. Who's the best teenage mutant ninja turtle? And they both go,
Leonardo.
Donatello.
Oh, Donatello. Whoops. I said Leonardo. They
I
were
don't
so funny.
know.
And then the part where Sarah Sherman obviously wrote this in and Colin did not see it before he read it. And he goes, okay, but I really need you guys to stop fighting because I already have my tickets for the concert in a year and I'm planning on moshing so I can become white boy of the year. And they're just like still pretending like each other are like
Sarah
poking them.
Squirm and Colin Jost's like little.
They like
They're
love each
so
other.
funny.
They're so funny together. I absolutely thought it was like one of the funniest things I've seen on SNL in a long time. Let's talk about Big Brother. The finale was last night. Thoughts?
Well, I really actually enjoyed the setup of the finale, but I really just did not care at all.
It was like,
And I
now
honestly, I didn't even care about America's Favorite Player because I knew it was going to be
No.
Tucker. It just wasn't. And Tucker was also annoying me. I was
Tucker
like, okay, if you had done
me
this before the
out.
vote, I don't
I
know if you
know.
would have won.
I think I texted you guys and I was like, it's a good thing AFP wasn't voted on tonight because
Yeah.
he and Rabina were giving me the ick. Both with her with her baby
Ew.
talk and like it was just like,
It was
I know
terrible.
it's
It was
awkward,
terrible.
but and you guys are nervous that you're being weird. So guys, here's the deal. Our final three were Cam, MJ, and Chelsea. And if I have to choose a winner out of those three, I am choosing Chelsea. She
Yeah.
absolutely deserved that win. Like, happy for her, whatever. But I talked to Mom about this today, and I just have to say, like, are you there to fucking win, Mackenzie? What's wrong
she?
with you? Like, and
I'm
I
actually
knew it was
worried
gonna
for her
happen.
in the real world.
Well, because here's the
Because
deal, guys.
what
Here's
are
what
real
happens.
people
Here's how
doing
it's
to
set
her?
up. Okay, so there's like this like multiple part head of household competition. It's really a big deal because whoever wins this head of household competition gets to choose who is evicted. It's not a vote or anything. They choose one person to be evicted, and then there's your final two. Okay, and what they're also deciding, because the second place winner gets $75,000 and the first place winner gets $750,000. So they're also choosing whether or not you leave with $0 tonight or you leave with $75K at least tonight. Like, so it's a big thing. Okay. Mackenzie wins the head of household. Cam and Chelsea are on the block. She gets up there and I'm thinking in my head, if this girl has a fucking speck of a brain in her head, she will send Chelsea home. I know she will feel
Because,
terrible
guys,
about it.
we've
I
talked
know
about
it won't
Cam.
feel good, but that's the
We've-
fucking game. That's what Chelsea would
We've-
do.
It's 100% what Chelsea would
And
have
like,
done.
I think Mackenzie realized that during the jury interrogation.
I think so too. And just for context for y'all, Cam has won one competition basically by luck.
I mean,
He
completely by
is
luck.
not a
He
game.
is-
He's only in the game because
because of Chelsea. Because Chelsea
he didn't
has
make
taken
waves
him
and
here.
he was able to ride Chelsea's coattails to the end. So there was actually 0% chance he
That
would have been
anyone
able
would have
to
voted
beat
for him.
Mackenzie.
Because the way that it's set up is that the jury, so those are the house guests who have been evicted from like final 10 or something, they've been sequestered. They are going to vote on who wins based on the final two. So my thinking is like, you put Cam up there with Mackenzie or Chelsea, they could not in good conscience, no matter how they felt about Mackenzie or Chelsea, they could not in good conscience give him that money. Like say that he won the game because his game did not win Big Brother. He is here by luck because he was carried here. He flew under the radar. So but like if I'm Mackenzie, I'm sorry. Do you want to win or not? Like that was the
Exactly.
stupidest thing. And I
wish-
knew it was going to happen because Chelsea said, make the decision that makes you proud. And I was like, I don't know how Mackenzie chooses like that.
Because
Ooh,
Chelsea knew
she's such a
exactly
good
what to say.
speaker. And that's why Chelsea fucking won, because she knows exactly what to say. And she always has. And people don't even realize, like Mackenzie didn't even realize she was being manipulated.
I
Like,
wish she had realized that she was being manipulated just a second.
a second
earlier.
before. I mean,
'Cause
I
she-
didn't
'cause
want Mackenzie to
she-
win, so I am glad it went that way. But I just was like, are you like?
Well, it was just hard to watch.
and it is like an impossible. I mean, and here I am thinking about Mackenzie walking up there having to make that call. Like, I would want to die. Like, can you imagine? And she was like, I'm born ready for this. I don't care at all. Like, she was so also annoying during the finale, but she just kept, and I felt like, well, the other thing, you guys, is the jury voted. It was unanimous for Chelsea. And
so you just, it happened during, you just watched it all fall apart in the interrogations because
10 minutes.
I believe going into the interrogation, Mackenzie had at least 3 votes. I think Quinn, Angela, and Leah would have voted for Mackenzie. But
really,
Chelsea was able to say something. I don't remember. She mentioned how Mackenzie didn't like Angela. And
yeah,
that I think made Angela vote for Chelsea. Leah heard that Leah, I mean, I think it was a tough position for Leah anyway, because she heard Mackenzie take complete credit for, like, she was like, no, I wanted to send Leah home. That was the best move of my game, all this stuff. And then she's in a tough position because then she had to hear Chelsea say, basically, this is what Chelsea says in kinder words. I was able to manipulate Mackenzie into sending Leah home because that was the best move for my game.
Yes.
And that's when Mackenzie realized that she had been manipulated this whole time. But I think that's when Chelsea gained Leah's vote and Quinn's vote, because Quinn, I think, would have voted for... No, actually, Quinn had Chelsea's vote regardless, because he was mad at MJ for the Leah thing, which I was cringing at the round table when Quinn was like,
I'm still mad that
it's fine if you're okay with it, but I am still really mad that you were sent home.
But also, I'm sorry, Leah, like, I never in a million years would have voted for Mackenzie if I'm Leah. What a shitty fucking friend. And also, I thought it pissed me off during the final round of the HOH competition. Rosetta Stone. Back in 2022, I traveled to Rome with my husband for our honeymoon, and the trip was incredible. But with all the chaos leading up to our wedding, time to learn the Italian language grew scarce. We always intended to learn at least some Italian before getting on the plane, but every time we tried, something got in the way. But now I'm using Rosetta Stone and learning Italian so that our next trip to Italy is even more amazing.
Rosetta Stone is the most trusted language learning program. It's available on desktop or as an app, and it truly immerses you in the language that you want to learn. Personally, I'm most excited to learn Spanish so that I can appreciate Spanish-speaking TV shows and Spanish pop culture to the fullest.
Rosetta Stone has been a trusted expert for 30 years with millions of users and 25 languages offered, and including Spanish, French, Italian, Korean, Dutch, Arabic, Polish, and more.
And it can help you learn a language fast. There are no English translations, so you really learn to speak, listen, and think in that language. And the process is super intuitive and designed for long-term retention.
Rosetta Stone also features a built-in true accent feature, which gives you feedback on your pronunciation. A built-in dialect coach? Count me in.
Rosetta Stone is so convenient, so flexible, and the best part is the value. Rosetta Stone offers a lifetime membership featuring all 25 languages. That's lifetime access to all 25 language courses Rosetta Stone offers for 50% off. An absolute steal.
Don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. The Pretty Little Podcast listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/today.
That's 50% off unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off with code PrettyLittlePodcast at rosettastone.com/today. Hormone Harmony. Yes, Road Warriors, the rumors are true. Sometimes when I hop on to record the pod, I am a little cranky, and that's thanks to PMS. Obviously, talking with Caroline cheers me up, but sometimes even that's not enough.
Well, Phoebe, it's a lot easier to manage PMS with Hormone Harmony, along with so many other things. And I love that it supports cortisol levels and helps balance my mood swings. Yes, I also sometimes experience those. And obviously, I benefit from the improved sleep quality.
Hormone Harmony contains science-backed herbal extracts called adaptogens, and they're amazing because they literally help the body adapt to any stressors. which makes sense because Happy Mammoth, the company that created Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to making women's lives easier because women's stories matter. It has 0 sugar, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and third-party tested.
And Phoebe, did you know a bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds?
Actually, I did know that, and I'm pretty sure I'm the one who told you.
Anyway, for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code PrettyLittlePodcast at checkout.
That's happymammoth.com and use the code PrettyLittlePodcast for 15% off today.
Mochi Health. Phoebe, have you ever had a doctor who just didn't listen to you?
Who hasn't?
Good question. Well, Mochi Health understands that weight loss can be a frustrating and seemingly impossible journey, and they're not just listening, they're taking action.
They're taking a holistic approach to weight loss that includes visits with board-certified doctors, nutrition consultations, and science-backed medications delivered right to your front door.
With Mochi, their dietitians work hand in hand with your medication to create personalized nutrition plans that fit your lifestyle.
Mochi Health is making it easier to make sustainable changes and achieve real weight loss results with science-backed, FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, support from real doctors, and guidance from registered dietitians.
And the best part is that it's affordable and accessible regardless of your insurance coverage.
Well, actually, the best part is that Road Warriors can use the code PrettyLittlePodcast for $40 off.
Oh my God, you are so right. So get started at joinmochi.com and use code PrettyLittlePodcast for $40 off.
And in case you missed it, that's joinmochi.com and use code PrettyLittlePodcast for $40 off.
What they did is the quiz. So they do like, okay, we're going to have old contestants deep fakes show up and say 3 things that happened during the last 90 days, and you have to choose which of those things is false. So they have Leah's deep fake come up and say like her 3 things, and one of them was, I was on the block twice or something. And Mackenzie's like, nope. I know that one. That one's easy. Leah was on the block 1 time. Yep, the time I got her out. Like literally, and I was like, that was your
like, you
best
guys were
fucking
friends.
friend in the house. You bitch.
And now, like if I'm Leah, I'm like, I'm gonna have a really tough time.
If I'm Leah, I'm like,
especially
I'm not
because
real.
now I know that in your head you thought that sending me home was malicious.
Yes.
It's
and
not
also,
like
the
she
thing
has
is,
the
if you were-
manipulation to hide behind anymore.
And Mackenzie, if you were going to do that malicious move, because it was such a good gameplay mood in that move, and that's how we play the game, and like sucks that feelings are involved, but that's the game, whatever. If you were going to do that with getting Leah out, then there's no reason you shouldn't have sent Chelsea home last night of the finale. So I'm saying, like, if you were playing that kind of game, you would have kept Cam, I think.
Yeah.
But you weren't playing that kind of game. You just didn't know you weren't, because you were being influenced.
Yes.
You know, you didn't realize you weren't playing a smart game until you heard Chelsea start answering. And you were like, holy shit. And also, I'm sorry, Mackenzie, I'm sorry. The other thing is, if I know that I'm not a good speaker and I look at our final 3 and it's fucking Cam and a pastor who's like one of the most impassioned, well-spoken people to come on this game in a very long time, do you, and I know that we have an interrogation section coming up, I'm not choosing the person who can
when you break down
me.
the decision, it truly is shocking
It is
how many things
crazy.
she
And she didn't even think about
on.
it. She literally was like, nope, I don't need to think about it. Born ready. Like, no, girl,
She
you needed to
was
think
like,
about that.
She literally thought she was such a good game player that she said, I want to win this. I want to, she wanted
I'm not
to pick
afraid
the
of
competitor.
winners. She said, I came into this game unafraid of winners. I'm not afraid to play
It's like,
against
okay,
winners. And it's like,
if Big Brother was won in the end by a competition, it would have been a fine decision. It would have been like,
Right.
okay, I get it. But there was a lot of other stuff. And Mackenzie really did not think about the jury management of the Leah situation.
She didn't think about jury management. And she's up there like, I'm going to be the youngest winner of Big Brother. And then you make that decision. Like, I know.
That's where she fucked up her game. Was
She's
the,
gonna leave
sending
and
Leah home.
she's gonna say, you know, I made the choice that I can feel proud of, and like
She's already said that. I watched an interview today.
yeah, like
yeah.
And that's what she's going to have to say because it's but the thing is, that's not the game. And when I film my Big Brother audition tape, what I'm going to be saying is like, can we fucking play the game like and have fun? Can we do what Dan did where the person said, why did you have to be so mean about it? And he said, I didn't, but then you wouldn't have cried. Like, and he won. Can we bring back that kind of gameplay? That's what Tucker was doing. And that is why he was AFP without ever making it to jury. That's why he walked away from this night with $70,000 and he didn't even make it to jury. Like,
Yeah.
because he was like, I want to have fucking fun. I'm not here to make friends. Like, I'll make friends, but that isn't why you're there. You're there to win a game.
He was likable enough too to be that way.
And he was having fun
And
with it because
also-
it wasn't like malicious. It was like, this is a game and I'm playing it. Let's
Yeah.
have fun and play the fucking game. Like, you know, that's what he was trying to do. And I don't know. But one thing I realized when you get all those people out there in their normal ass clothes and they've gotten a little bit of sleep and some of them have been in the real world, they are some annoying ass people. And I know if I end up at that house, it's going to be like any musical theater camp where you go and it's like the most insufferable people you've ever met. And you're one of them. But like,
They really are.
those are the type of people you have to make that show. You can't have a
Oh
bunch
my
of duds no one wants to
God.
watch.
Guys, Tucker was infuriating. Matt, you're not relevant. Stop fucking trying. It's infuriating.
Literally don't remember who Matt is. Matt!
Crazy
Crazy
Eyes?
Eyes. Sorry, if you could refer to him by his government name, Crazy Eyes, then I would have known exactly.
Right,
Wait,
he's only
but
relevant
Angela
because of
was
Angela
low-key,
Murray.
Like, I was like, Angela, come on. Like, she was kind of a massive biatch.
A little bit, but I love her.
I know you love her, and like I love her too, and that's just like who she is. But I was like, okay, but as like a mother, as a wife to Chuck and a mother, I feel like this is a weird way to be behaving. When he's like, I've been waiting, she's like, oh, I have wanted to make up with you. I mean, I guess you can have a hug if you really want one.
in the
But I'm
interview, one of the
literally
interviews,
good.
one of the TikToks I saw today, there were two perspectives on. They were talking about that, and one guy was like, Matt didn't say anything new in that speech. That was the exact same speech that he gave when he left, and he was just like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
I'm gonna
true.
accept an apology, and like it wasn't anything new.
Well, and it's like,
and
dude,
secondly-
I forgot your name.
And the one guy was like, he was watching the feeds. He left on day 10. Angela said that like the week after he left, she was like, I
Yeah.
wonder if he'd like forgive me. She's been in the house and then in jury
like
This
another
is, like,
60
She
days.
probably literally forgot about you.
Yeah, that's so
until she
true.
got her comic.
Yes, that's so true.
So like he wants to be relevant so bad. So he's like, I've been
know.
watching the live feeds and you're like always talking about me. And it's like, well, maybe 2 months ago she was.
Yeah, but like
Barely.
Oh my God,
They
woof.
all were talking. And
His
Mackenzie,
whole TikTok algorithm is just him. Oh my God, dude, I had the ick so bad for them. The way
Why'd
she called it a showman.
showmance?
Did she forget he was going to be
Especially
there?
and did she forget that she's we as America and the house guests that are voting on her winning $750,000 all watched her for a season completely dial back what they were?
And like be so like
Mean
ew
about him?
yeah. Like if I'm mad, I'm like, don't talk to me. To her.
And also, I'm like, as soon as I'm Mackenzie and I have my phone in my hands, I'm like, okay, I'm never meeting this guy ever.
ever. I mean, even just yeah.
The
no.
way he was like cheering for her
I know
with that other guy,
Well, they were
like they were actually dating. If Tucker had been doing that for Rabina, it would have been completely different.
That's what I'm saying is he was acting like Tucker and Ruby. Like it was the same level of, and it was not. So, okay, you finished your first Big Brother season. Will you be watching next year?
Yeah, and I hope that we get a more interesting like top 6.
Yeah, I would love that. That is the one thing, but that does tend to happen unless you are really rooting for like somebody in the top 3. It gets pretty boring because it's like,
Yeah,
I
did.
remember the year that it was Taylor Hale who won.
And she
it
was the round
actually
table.
so yeah, it was so exciting to watch because she was having this like super unexpected showmance with
We
Monty.
talked about that last week.
Yeah, so like it was like no one saw it coming. And we're watching this happen and we're watching him shit talk her behind her back. Like, so it was actually really, really entertaining. And I was invested. I wanted her to win really bad. So I was like, any conversations she was having, I was interested in hearing because she's just talking about like, I feel like they started having a
Yeah.
lot of deep convos just about like their lives because it's like they've run out of game to play. Like it's just talking about
So
what they're
waiting
gonna do
game
when
at
they
a
get
certain
back
point.
home, or like things like that. And anyway, I just thought it was really interesting to watch. So hopefully next year, yeah, we'll get something.
But I did think it was
better
a
at the
pretty
end,
great
but
season.
yes, it's such a fun show. It gives you so much to talk and think about. Like, they're just so many different avenues you can like analyze it from. I don't know. I really love it. Can't wait to be on it next year.
Next year.
Next year, like whenever like I can accept it, their offer. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Right.
Okay, let's look at what else people wanted us to talk about. Okay. Well, I'll touch on this briefly. Yes, we did hear that Pretty Little Liars True Crime has been canceled. And
that's all we'll say on that.
well, I do have something to say. I just want to say that we know how much work goes into creating a podcast. And we know, like, if they loved that show, anything like the way that we love ours, I'm sure they're really heartbroken over it. And if their fans love the show the way that you guys love our show, I'm sure they're heartbroken too. But there is a place for you here at the Pretty Little Podcast. If you're missing a Pretty Little Liars rewatch, we do it every Thursday. We'd love to have you. So if you know anyone who's mourning a loss, send them right over here. We will welcome them with open arms to their new favorite podcast. But yeah, I feel for them. It's hard when you think that all your hard work might go up in flames. So I feel for them. Hopefully, they're going to be fine though. They both have other podcasts, so they'll be good. Yeah. And that's all I have to say about that. Moving on. Okay, favorite Halloween movies and traditions. Phoebe, would you like to start?
Halloween Town and the Scream movies. Actually, I went to a brewery in Nashville on Thursday where they had an outdoor movie set up. Like it was honestly awesome. They had 2 screens on either end of their outdoor area with a bunch of picnic tables, and they played Halloween Town, and we didn't really watch it because it took us a long time to get food, but after that they played football. It was great. But Halloween Town, I forgot how much I loved that movie. Obviously I know how much I love it, but like when I actually see it's like the most beautiful movie. We reference it a lot here on this podcast.
Well, even if you're not listening to it or like really watching it, it's like the ambiance, like just having it on even on mute.
Colors.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just beautiful to watch and it feels so cozy. It gives me the same vibe
like that
as like when you have like the virtual fireplace on your TV and it's like, oh, so cozy. Like that's also how I feel
because it's
when
like
Halloween
the ambers and the oranges.
Yes, and it's like early decon. It's just good.
It's back when things were on film.
Yeah, we just watched that. And we've actually been watching the Scream movies in order again.
Those are just... You've seen them all, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think some of my favorite Halloween movies, I'm thinking of others. I do always love Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. That one.
Oh, classic.
Disney Plus, basically. You just need to go to the Disney
Plus. That one used to scare me so bad, though.
There were some that really used to scare me. Like the Boy Meets World Halloween episode used to scare the fuck out of me. And
that
so did the Lizzie
scary.
McGuire one, but I loved it.
Boy Meets World was super scary.
Wizards of Waverly Place had a really scary one.
I was just about to get there. The Wizards of Waverly Place one where they have someone with a little plastic melted mask on running around in a hood and with like a fireplace.
Yes.
With a hairdryer is what I meant.
And those are interchangeable.
That was so scary to me as a kid. I kind of want to
go back and like watch all of them now.
Mom would get mad when I'd watch that episode because it would scare me so
Wait,
bad.
do you remember the Hannah Montana one where her evil cousin came and looked just like her and they did
I also love when the idea of someone's cousin being just their identical twin.
And well, yes. Elizabeth and I used to call each other best friend, sister, cousin twins. Do you know that? That's like what we used to call each other. And we still, when we text, it's like BFSCT. Because people were like, you guys are like twins. And we're like, yeah, but we're actually like best friends or we're cousins. But we're sisters. We're like best friend, sister, cousin twins. And that's just kind of where we went with that. And that worked. And it rolls off the tongue.
Oh my gosh.
But Disney Plus is the best because if you go and you just search Halloween, it has an entire Halloween section and they do split it up. So they pull out all the special Halloween episodes from like all the shows so that you don't have to look for them. So if you go there, they have like, first of all the movies, and they're spread out like, you know, Blast from the Past ones, DCOM ones, and then like actual scary movies. But then, yeah, they have all the, like just the Halloween episodes, and they do it for Christmas too, which is like amazing.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a really, Disney
Great
Plus is
feature.
also a really good streaming platform. Just saying.
Well, you know what
But,
I've always
yeah.
said to Netflix?
What have you always said?
I think, and they kind of got the right idea, but I don't like this feature. It doesn't work. They have the shuffle feature for a show, but I think that they should have a shuffle feature on a show. Like if I want to just watch The
Gossip
Office, but I
Girl.
don't want to watch it in order. I mean, I think they should put it on every show. I am more in search of it for like those like shows where you don't really have to watch in chronological order.
Well, but still, like,
To
well,
just,
yeah,
like,
you.
but or like roulette, like you guys
Mhm.
pick which episode I start on and then let me watch chronologically
yeah,
from there.
because that is like me and my friends do that all the time with like Broad City, Glee. I do it with Gossip Girl, but like those are the shows, and it's like sometimes it's hard because I'm like, okay, close my eyes and press the arrows to pick a season, but there are only 5 or like however many. Well, Glee is more, but. And then you do it in the episodes, and it's just not a foolproof because you have to kind of choose the season that you want to be living in,
Right.
and that's not really
Exactly.
what I'm going for. By the way, so New Year's trip kind of hit like a roadblock, but Clyde and Gibson, I think, are just going to drive up here the weekend after Christmas.
Oh, even better.
Isn't that amazing? Because you're
Even
here,
better,
Kylie's
'cause that's
here.
more. Now I won't have to leave.
I'm going to reach out to Steph and see if he would want to come
Guess
too.
what? And you're probably invited to this if you want to come.
Well, I know I
You-
will
you
be, but
prob-
what is it?
You probably won't want to come.
All I have to do is
When
tell
I-
someone I'm interested, and they'll invite me.
when I'm done with my break, I'm probably gonna stay like another week in Pittsburgh, and then we're gonna drive down to Nashville with Cammie, Maddie, and company, and do their 24th birthday in Nashville, because their birthdays are either that Friday and Saturday that weekend, or the Saturday Sunday.
Okay, no offense. I love your friends. Why would I want to drive in a car with you and 5 other people down to Nashville?
I literally was just telling you preemptively that you were invited, so you didn't get mad if you weren't.
Oh
So-
my God, don't worry.
So
kidding,
invite
I'm just
rescinded.
kidding, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. No.
Now suddenly she's gonna want to come.
This is the best one. What are you guys being or doing for Halloween, or is it top secret?
It's
As of now, it's top
thank you.
secret. As of now, it's. But hey, if some of you guys are still
I'll give
planning
you
on
a
dressing
hint.
up like us,
Guys,
if
I'll
we
give you a
don't
hint.
get pictures of it, I will.
Riot in the streets.
I don't know what.
But guys, I'll give you a hint. I'll
what
give
we're
you a hint.
being.
And for the 4th night there.
Oh, you're being
we
Lisa
were
Barlow?
No, but something like that.
Who? Taylor?
And,
You're not,
and you'll see. Well, I'm not fucking telling you. It's a
are you
top
really
secret.
being something and you're not telling me?
Yeah.
You have a costume plan that you haven't shared with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked
It's
up.
new.
It
It's
better
new,
be
it's
new as
recent.
in 5 seconds ago. That better
It's
be how
not,
new
but-
it is. It better like I've not taken its first breath. Well, I've told you what my family is being, right? For like our wholesome thing. This isn't my slutty costume.
Imagine if it was. Imagine if you. I'm picturing your whole family in their wholesome costumes in the living room waiting for
My
you to
whole
come
family,
downstairs.
by the way, is my husband and 2 dogs.
And you come downstairs as a slutty Dorothy.
Okay, I'm not Dorothy.
Sorry, Glinda.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my God. Yeah, no, this one isn't my slutty costume, but thanks. For
Drama's
that
like,
image.
Mom,
He's like, Mom, can you not be a whore for this Halloween, please? Jesus Christ.
do you have to put me in a dress?
No, Drama loves being in a dress. Duh. Drama loves being in a dress. He asked to be Dorothy Gale.
I'm sorry. Drama just gives me he gives guys
What?
guy.
Okay, you obviously don't know him well at all. He has a ruby red slippers collar. He's not out there playing football.
But he
my
is
God.
though.
No, he isn't.
He is though. He loves guys. He loves.
He
to
likes
play.
fetch. So do all dogs. Don't
Okay, well, let's
don't
all
say
just be
Chuck
clear.
doesn't, because Chuck does. Chuck just isn't good at it. I don't know, Phoebe, and you're dead wrong. How about that? You're dead wrong. Here's what my family's being, asshole. I'm being Glinda. Anthony's being the Tin Man. Chuck's being the Cowardly Lion, and Drama's being Dorothy Gale from Kansas, and he's thrilled about it.
Caroline
and
sounded
thank you, but he's
just
thrilled
like-
about it.
just sounded like Kristen Bell in Nobody Wants Us when she said asshole. The way she said it was
Thanks.
exactly as she would have said it. And once again, thank you everybody for saying that I am the Morgan, because I'm just thrilled about it.
Wait, something was really funny.
Even though I don't think I'm anything like her, it's just by default that I am the Morgan, but
No,
I'll take it.
there are things like when you talk to me and you're like a massive biatch, like Morgan is, but in a cool way. Of course, in a cool way. I love Morgan. I'm not being mean.
And what about when Kristen Bell doesn't believe things that Morgan says when she's just trying to be a good sister?
Okay, well, to be fair, Morgan is a little harsh in her delivery, which I can't relate to, so I don't understand.
Guys, let's just say if you guys had come out the gate saying that Caroline was like Morgan, we would be having the absolute same conversation in reverse.
Well, Joanne is not as mean as Morgan, and you know that. That is the one difference between you and Morgan, is that you're nicer than her.
Thank you.
Okay, and that I'm meaner than Joanne, probably. Sure. But in the show,
Sure.
sorry, that's what it is. So anyway, Kelly and I were talking, and she was like, said something about how her family was saying that Maggie, Kelly's sister, reminds them of Morgan. And they were like, which is true. And we've always said that. And I always said it.
And we've always said that.
But Kelly was like, yeah, they were saying that like Maggie's like the older sister, like not Kristen, but like Morgan. And I was like, wait, is Morgan the older sister? And she's like, oh wait, no. I was like, oh sorry. She goes, no. Kristen Bell is definitely the older sister. And I was like, oh my God, not definitely. How dare you? she's
Wait,
like, no,
but I will say,
Kristen Bell's definitely the older sister.
I know that we're podcasters, so that's why we have been cast as these characters. However, I do think you and Kelly are more like them.
Well, Kelly's kind of like Esther.
But no, because Kelly,
Yes.
you guys would have. I just got a text from Mimi. I'm attracted to a Boston accent all of a sudden.
Okay,
Mimi
wait.
kills me
Well,
with, guys,
meet my dog drama.
We will, the other day, Mimi texted and was like, he was like, guys, I think I'm interested in converting to Judaism. And I said, is this Adam Brody related? And she said, no. And I said, well, this is definitely boy related. This is not like, you didn't just decide this.
Yeah,
There's
well,
definitely a nice, cute Jewish boy
Yeah.
that you're interested in. And suddenly you're like, okay, maybe I could be Jewish.
My whole life, I was like, please, please,
so,
Mom, let me convert to be Jewish, because I always was trying to date these boys who were Jewish, and I was like, I can't be with them forever if I'm not Jewish, so we got to figure something out, and we're not that into Catholicism, so can I just?
And you know what they said to me?
I said, Caroline, it's way more work than Catholicism. And I said, what?
You have to learn a new language.
They're like, do you want to learn Hebrew? And I was like, well, and they're like, yeah, do you know what actually goes into a bat mitzvah? And I was like, okay, fair, I'll pass. Okay, fair, I'll just take what I got.
Fine, I'm
the
very
Holy
Catholic.
Communion and reconciliation, the sacraments, I won't waste them. Fine.
And the guilt, I'll take it all.
And the guilt, and I will definitely take the guilt, and probably more than I need. Yeah, anyway, okay. Couple other things. New version of Brat. What do you think?
Oh, it's everything.
It's everything. It's everything. And I love what she said about it.
In my house in LA.
In LA. Now I'm watching what I say. These interviews are so serious.
I eat kinda like a fly. It happens to lots of guys. I'm just singing like I'm in Oasis now.
Oh my God. Toxic legend. Maddie Healy. Maddie Healy's a toxic legend. True,
but I actually really liked in the interview when Zayn, because she's never really had to confront her, especially with these new fans. They are unaware of the connection between the 1975 and Charlie in
They're
terms
unaware
of that
of George?
lore. Well, a lot of people are like when the collaborations
who do they think George is?
That's what I mean. They didn't know who that was. Curious George, the monkey.
I wanted that for George.
But people were really upset when the collaboration list came out.
I was gonna
1975
ask.
is on it. And Zane Lowe did a really good job of like navigating that conversation. And Charlie's never really talked about it.
Yeah.
And she was like, I've known him for so long, and like I have a brotherly like he's like a brother to me now. So I have these moments where it's like I just like want to hit him over the head when he says this stuff. But she's like, and it kind of goes back to what she said about the Ariana song. And she was like, we kind of all talk about how these interviews, like you can get swept up in the conversation of it.
Yeah.
And if you get comfortable with the interviewer, not that it's an excuse to say anything bad, but she was like, we can all kind of get it in a way that the general public can't.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to have an opportunity to kind of speak on that in a way that like he would never let himself speak in a way that was like showing the emotion behind it for the 1975 project, because it's kind of a caricature of who he is.
Right.
But this gave him an opportunity to speak about it in a more vulnerable, which is what Brat is. That's what we've been saying about the writing.
I mean,
it's
that
like,
is what I just like.
Lorde would never sing the way that she did about those feelings towards Charlie XCX on her own song.
No, Charlie had to open that door.
Vehicle to be able to write that way. And I think Ariana, the same thing. Like the way she talked about, like, my body's critiqued and my like she just you
I
never
feel
really
like she
hear
kind
her.
of just basically said what she said in Yes and. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't feel like it was anything new. Like I'm okay.
But it was the way they switched the song concept though for the remix was Ariana's idea.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was the one who was like, it's not just the sympathy that's a knife. Everything about fame.
Yeah.
That everybody kind of bolsters up. It's all like this.
Yeah.
And it was based on a conversation that they had after Sympathy Was a Knife came out.
That's what I'm like loving about and Charlie said something about this where she was just like, I've never liked the idea that the song is finished. Like it's kind of like a living, breathing thing that you can keep going back to. And I really felt like with Brat, what happened was so many of these songs, I felt like started conversations that like people weren't having, or they put words to feelings that people like, especially, I mean, I really felt it with I Think About It All the Time. Like I've talked about it a little bit, but like, you know, I got married not too long ago. People ask all the time, are you going to have kids? You're going to have kids. I don't know, but I do think about it all the time. And the feelings that Charlie described, like, not to say that like, you know, it's not a maturity thing, but when I was your age, like I never had the thoughts the same way as like she, like, you know, I wouldn't have gotten it. That song would not have hit me the way that it does today. But today it was crazy because I was just like, I've been feeling this way. I haven't known how to like put words to it. It's this like crazy feeling. It feels so big and it feels very hard to talk about. And that song came out and Mom was like, Caroline, did you hear this song? Because it's like what you've been talking to me about. And I also just didn't expect to hear it from Charlie XCX. And I think that for a lot of people, like I'm already a fan. So I had already listened, like I was going to. But for people who aren't, maybe hearing one of these songs that like starts a conversation for them, it now brings them into her music. You know what I mean? And that's the way that like, I think for a lot of people,
which was part of why she changed all the album covers of her old music to kind of invite people
I was wondering
to explore the rest of it. But I also think that it was cool, like just who she chose to have features on what, and like having A.G. Cook on So and I really love that they literally made the song faster, which is one of the things that she says Sophie would say about her music when Charlie would play Sophie a new song. That was something that in the song she says like make it faster, and so they literally made it faster. And we wouldn't have A.G. Cook and we wouldn't have Charlie XCX without Sophie. So for them to have this like kind of cathartic moment that now that we get to have with them about someone that the music industry like really mourned is super special.
Yeah.
And also just like, I don't know, all the themes on it that I think can feel really singular to people. Her doing them on their own was one thing that was really like brought us all together. But now bringing all these different people in to give their own perspective on it widens that and makes it even clearer that like, man, we really all are just living the same life.
It's true. And I also love that she has stars who've been around forever, and then she has people that are really new to the scene. And they're also like, I thought Everything's Romantic.
Oh, it's so good.
The new one, like, oh my God, it like got me a little bit. And the part where she goes, everything's still romantic, right? Like that, like, but I was like, you know, Caroline Polachek is like, forgive me if I'm wrong, she's not like a veteran. She's like newer, right?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that,
In the
but she's
mainstream.
not. But I think she's older. I think she's been making music longer than Charlie.
Okay.
She's older than Charlie for sure.
Okay. Well, I just felt like she was bringing in conversations with people. Like, that makes sense. I didn't know Caroline Polachek very much before, like, this year. But
She opened for Dua Lipa famously a couple
I
years
feel
ago.
like that. Well, that kind of never mind for what I was saying then. But anyway, I was gonna say something about. Oh, question. So I do like have a theory, but I guess maybe her interview negates this. But like my theory fully is that Sympathy Is a Knife was not supposed to be with Ariana.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really, 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 really think there's a chance Charlie tried to get this to be a Taylor collab. And it didn't happen.
honestly,
And
part
that's
of me-
why Ariana wasn't announced. Because I am telling you, I saw that track list. I would have said Ariana's on it. I saw everyone else on that track list. Nothing
I
was
don't
on
know.
Sympathy Is a Knife. Nothing was on it.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen to the interview and how she talked about it. But they definitely. But I don't think that means. I don't think what I said necessarily means that that's not true.
Okay.
Because I don't believe that it wouldn't feel like authentic Charlie to be like, this is what we had to do
Yeah.
with Taylor, and now Ariana's just gonna do
No,
it.
I
think she probably
agree.
would have had a new conversation with Ariana and written a new one.
I think so, too. I think
that
well, I wonder if
there's
also
a chance.
there's a
But I
world
feel
where
like
it's
Taylor would
like,
have said yes.
I don't know, 1975 is on that album. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I know that's
I mean,
petty, but she's petty.
yeah, but I think that she and Charlie, I don't know. I see her saying yes,
I know. I do.
And
In my mind, it's like she would say
partially
yes,
because
but
it's petty to do
to
it,
say yes.
to be on the record.
But
with the
also,
1975.
I could see her saying no because exactly what we wouldn't want is that. Because we'd be like, she would
Taylor,
know.
no.
Like Taylor would be like, "Do I want to be the laughing stock?" You know what I mean?
Because
Like,
she would. Taylor, we love you. You would have been the worst
imagine
feature on the
the
album.
Charlie
I
fans.
would have loved it in a campy way.
Yes. I mean, listen, we would have loved it. And it probably would have been a really smart and like honestly, here's what the bummer is. Taylor's perspective would be welcome and make a lot of sense on this album. Like because of what the album's about. Like it really would make sense to have Taylor on this album. But I could see her being like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I will be like I could see it being like, or Tree being like, I'm sorry, no. Because you will be the Charlie fans who've been so nasty to Taylor. I just think it would be a recipe for disaster.
And
but
I don't think in this arena she doesn't quite have what it takes to stick the landing.
no, it's just exactly
And it would be
what
so
she
much
says.
worse for her.
Couldn't be her if I tried. They're too different. I don't think it would work. But what I will say is part of my theory is that they were like, well, who could we get last minute to throw on here? Ariana's doing Wicked promo. We could like make it part of that. And because I'm like, I'm sorry, it's unlike Charlie to do the green and pink. It is unlike her to allow Brat to be Wicked promo.
Yeah,
And I think it's weird. Honestly, I kind of wish it wasn't. I mean, I like it, but I like wish it wasn't Wicked promo. Which is what it. When I started seeing the screen flash, I was like, what? Like, not that I
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I love Pink, but do you know what I mean? I just was like, this isn't a Wicked. This isn't more Wicked marketing.
I think that was more of an afterthought. I don't think that's why they would have done it. I think that because I can't remember exactly what she said in the interview, but she did talk about how I think she and Ariana had been wanting to collaborate, or Ariana had reached out to her when Brat kind of.
I don't mean like
started-
that's the only reason they would do it is for Wicked. I just mean that it would be like, who could we get on here quickly?
Yeah.
Well, Ariana is currently, it would be a great thing for her. You know what I mean? So you already are talking with her. You already like her. It would also make sense. We can get her in there. And then after they do the song, they're like, oh, should we? But I just was like, I don't know. It all was like adding up in my head where I'm like, this feels for some reason like a last minute switch, because the other thing I'm going to say, and I make no bones about it, I fucking love it. And I love the album and I love the collab. This is not a critique. But where are the vocals, Ari?
Well, it's not, I don't think it was the place for the vocals.
Well, I know, but like, it's very unlike her to not allow there to be more vocals. At the end, she could have put more in. She could have done more runs. Like, it's an Ari feature.
Yeah.
If you're going to have her do like her way she do explain, which is like her yes and era.
I think that what it was about the Brat, and I'm not trying to argue, I'm just saying that I think that this project really allowed them to like, I feel like it was a place for a lot of these people to step out of their lane a bit and into Charlie's. Like I just feel like it was everybody adopting the Charlie syndrome and not that they weren't being themselves, but they were just being themselves differently. And I think that Ariana doing her Ariana stuff might have felt a little out of place.
Maybe. I felt though more like I was distracted by her not. I was like, okay, come on. Why even have Ari do this? Low key. Like literally, like that's another reason I was like, so this wasn't meant for her. Because in my mind, where are the notes?
Weird, dude. I don't agree.
Well, we see it from different lenses. Like I'm looking at it from like a vocalista perspective. I'm sorry, but if you have a singer on a track, she's singing. Like that's what you have your other tracks for.
But if it doesn't help the song, then
it wouldn't have heard it though. She has a few. I just think we have different things in our heads of what it would sound like, I think.
Yeah. But can we get into our rotations?
All right. Am I first?
I don't remember.
What are you on?
You are.
Okay. All right. First thing is on a book you never read. That's first thing on my dream rotation. Phoebe's not even listening. Oh my God.
Sorry, no, I'm writing down my rotation.
Okay.
But I am listening.
Maybe be present, be here in the moment, be here, be now. Yeah, first thing on my night rotation is on a book you never read. What am I doing?
Do it one more time.
On a book you never read.
Fuck, I know what it is.
I'll give you a little bit more.
That?
I'll give you a little bit more. When you read a report on a book you never read. The snobby thing is gonna make you bad. That's what I said.
Yes,
Everything is not
the Wizards
what
of Waverly.
it seems.
The Wizards of Waverly
Absolutely. But I'm sorry. That is so, for lack of a better term, cunty. On a book you never read. Like none of them. They're like, if you might find out, it'll go to your head when you read a report on a book you never read.
Oh my goodness, Selena Gomez, I love you.
And it's just all like a big caps and then like a little bit not a caps and no spaces. On a book you never read.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, so that's number one. Next up is, I want to refer to her as this diva, but I do have to give some context to explain who that is. The little green arrow, that means if you're turning left, you go, girl.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I love her. And last time I saw her, I actually said, I love this diva. And I thought of you.
She makes your day.
And I said, I need to pull the fuck over so I can write green arrow in my dream rotation idea bank. So that I have
best invention ever. And it's also like, why isn't that at every light?
When I see it, I'm like, they need to have one of these in Mario Kart, because it feels like when you get the little invincible star in Mario Kart and it's like din 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 din.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I love it. I freaking love it. Okay, so that's that. And the best is, okay, so I just like to add a little bit more on, when you're driving up to the light and it's green and it starts to turn yellow and you're like, fuck, and then it's like zoop. And it's like, okay, it's stopping unless you're turning. And it's like,
that's true.
Oh, it's like when the scissors glide.
I never feel more like a race car than when I'm on Cedar driving towards Cochrane to turn left. And I miss you're getting ready to turn left, but you know how that arrow is so
the little
short?
Green arrow, but you still go, and they when about to come.
When your like prefrontal lobe of driving developed when you drive in Mount Lebanon, and you realize
like, I actually have like
there's actually you have like a while you can actually get like four more cars through that light.
It's like it is at least three
that's a light
Mississippis.
problem.
Yeah.
Because also, not only do you have a little bit of time before their light turns green,
You
but
have
you
a little
also
time
have
when
time
the person
before the person goes.
adjust because they're going to take a little ramp up. Phoebe,
But why is
I
that
know
arrow
exactly
so
what
short?
you mean. Well, because I guess it doesn't have to be longer. Because people
Yeah, but it feels like a
know.
hazard.
No one's complained about it because everyone knows.
because
You know what I mean?
everyone knows.
They're like, and there's like this unspoken rule, this little quirky thing about this light. Okay, and then the other one is hot or not lists. I love them. And I think we should be making them more, you and me specifically.
Do you want to know something terrible about me?
Oh no, that's on your nightmare? Hot or not
No.
lists?
This is. I might take this out. I'll decide in the morning. When we would be in church when we were younger.
No fucking
And-
way. You made
and
them of
before I,
the
like,
people at church.
Before I've got my first communion, I'd be in the pew, and as people and I actually, Mom might remember this.
Making a
I
hot or
actually
not
think it-
list for the people as they
I
got their
actually-
communion.
I actually think at one point I was whispering
Out
it to
loud?
myself.
Hot.
And
Not-
mom was like, you can't do that.
I'm next to you, like crying, like, please get on your knees and pray, Phoebe, please. Please, if he hears you, if the big, that's back when I thought God was a he. If he hears you.
Oh my gosh. All right, my nightmare
yeah.
rotation. First, I was going to say dishes, but then I decided I'm saying dust.
Okay, well, I feel like you said dishes last week. I know you weren't on Nightmare, but like, didn't you just talk about how much you hate washing dishes?
No, I talked about my sink, remember? I
Remind me
cleaned my
when we
sink.
get off here. I know you need to go, but I'll send you a voice memo because I need to tell you about the story about this person I know who said they couldn't do dishes anymore when they lived with my friends in New York. And why?
Next is Rome from Survivor, the most annoying man on the face of the earth. I
Oh,
actually
yes.
listen, I know I said Andy, but Rome is worse because Andy at least is like Andy knows he's bad at the game. Like
And
Andy's
Andy
not like
also means well.
he's aloof enough and he means well that it's manageable, which
He's
is what
not
the Yellow Tribe is saying.
cocky.
They're all like, we can deal with it. Rome thinks that he's like that little kid who like just learned that there's a 3-pointer option in basketball.
Yes.
But all of his friends already knew that, but he thinks that he is telling them all this information for the first time. And him following that poor man around the island all day, and the guy going, can I just have a moment by myself? You can watch me from here. I'm going to go sit on the beach by myself. And he goes, well, I'm going to be sitting right there next to you.
Oh,
Because he's
my
so petrified that he's going to be looking for an immunity idol. And one girl who's like in his 4 and is for sure regretting the fact that they were in like a 4 together.
Yes.
She goes up to him and is like, hey, like he's not looking. Like I appreciate what, like I get it, but like it'll be kind of clear when he's going, like you can lay off for a bit. It's okay. And he's like, okay. Like he like doesn't understand.
No, he's like
he
an
has
asshole.
no social awareness
Yeah.
he thinks that he is mastering the game, but also he's in the worst fucking tribe. They were in tribal council 2 weeks in a row.
And everyone hates you, dude. Like, I would come to physical blows. That's the problem with me.
If he was following you around.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
so would
I
you.
would've lost it.
I mean,
I would have
started beating his ass
lost
within
it.
30 minutes. It would not take long.
Oh my god.
We would
so
graduate
annoying.
from verbal to physical abuse quickly.
and next, speaking of annoying people, Whitney Rose.
Oh,
And her
she
healing
really
journey.
is and her healing journey. She's so annoying
Look,
for real.
Whitney, what are you doing on this trip? Lisa did kill me a little bit when she was like, yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
going.
I'm gonna do my own thing. Wait. Oh, I didn't get to say this, and I wrote it down to say it. But just while we're on this, Lisa Barlow had one of the greatest lines ever, and I plan on using it when she says to Angie, "You just changed our relationship." I was like, wait, that's incredible. I plan
Oh
on
my
saying
gosh.
that next time someone fucks with me, you just changed our relationship.
Angie
Powerful.
is the MJ of Salt Lake City. She is a pawn, which is why Mary Cosby loves her and
Yeah.
why Whitney's her friend right now.
And why Jen
Because
Shaw loved
Angie-
her, and like
Angie
yes.
will do whatever, and that's why she's and the way that they were trying to get Meredith. And I'm also like, okay, you guys aren't in middle school, Whitney. Meredith knows the things that Lisa said about her. She was there, and
Yes.
also we all watched it
They're
back.
all on television.
They're working through it. Those are things that they've both addressed. It's not
Yeah.
like they're pretending that didn't exist. You don't have to remind her of it.
Right.
They're working through it. Lisa has apologized, and she's in her 50s. She is like, you're not smarter than her. You're not gonna be like, Meredith, I really can't believe
that's what it is. Whitney
want to be
talks
Lisa's
like
friend.
she thinks she's so much smarter than everyone,
Which
and
is
it's like
part
you
of that
sound
therapy talk, which is
dumb.
what bothers them. And she loved, what was she say? She kept, was it bulldozing? Was that her
I don't know.
her buzzword last week? Like she kept saying, you're bulldozing the conversation. You're bulldozing the conversation because Lisa was trying to get out. Like Whitney has these talking points that are excuses for everything every time she's held accountable for being a shitty friend. It's like Lisa's at least obvious when she's a shitty friend.
Well,
She's not
Lisa,
trying to hide anything.
Well, and as she said,
Whitney,
Lisa
you're
likes who she
sneaky.
is. She's not trying to change herself at all. She's not interested in going on a healing journey, Whitney. So there's no point in even like trying to talk to her about how she should change. She's made it very clear it won't be happening. She likes who she is. It might not be right, but like leave it alone. You know, it's like fucking annoying.
I was just really and the way she like uses the way that she planned this trip as leverage over everybody on the trip.
I don't forget for 1 second who planned this fucking trip. I thought it was so annoying how she like, I don't know. And I just feel like, she is going to talk about it for the rest of the season, her trip. And it's like, everyone
it's what
has
she did
to
with
like
Palm
do
Springs.
something. Exactly.
And she brought that up again when Meredith was trying to be kind of nice on that trip and
also
do something for
didn't
them.
Meredith plan it? And that's no, Meredith did plan it. And Whitney walked in and was like, wait, I know Trixie.
Oh yes.
And
You're
it was
right,
like,
you're right.
Meredith was kind of annoyed because Whitney was like making it her thing, and it was like Meredith
she had,
planned this
she had,
entire trip and
planned-
bought it.
And Whitney had planned stuff with Trixie
Yes.
without Meredith knowing.
Yes.
And like Whitney, I think, got there before.
Yes, she got there.
with
She found out where they were
the
going and
other-
showed up early and was like, "Oh, hey guys," and like greeted them when they got there.
Yes,
If
yes,
I were
remember that.
Meredith, I would have
I
held her
would've been
under
so
the pool. Not really.
And Heather is just in that terrible middle position of like she's
always in.
she's always on Lisa's side. Like she always it's like she can see right through Whitney, but she does like see the best in Whitney.
Well, and she's also like related to Whitney, so she knows that no matter
Yeah, but
what, at the end of the day, like I think that
they
Heather
do
would choose Whitney at the end of the day, but not because she wants to.
I don't know, because I mean they got into that pretty.
I know, but it's like sisters.
Rough
Like they
fight.
always come back. Right. Okay. Well, Phoebe has to go, but I am going to leave you with a few things. So thank you for listening. Thursday, we will have a recap of season 5, episode 23 of Pretty Little Liars out. Please go send in your fan theories to @liarsuntildeath. We will talk about one of them on Thursday. Can't wait for that. And that's on Instagram, by the way. Also follow us on Instagram @The Pretty Little Podcast. The O in podcast is a 0. And you want to make sure you're following us because on Thursday, when we release our new episode, we are also launching our giveaway. Very, very exciting. The base products got here, including the Wicked toiletry bag. So lots of exciting things coming in the giveaway. I know. So make sure that you're following us so you can see all the amazing things you could be entered to win. And of course, our Patreon, we'll have an additional podcast for you coming out on Friday for tiers 2 and 3. So check it out. We love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Please leave us a 5-star rating and we will see you next week. And
splat.
Phoebe's going to be one less lonely girl tonight. I know it's a Justin Bieber song, Phoebe. And you're know-it-all.